And developing now, crews racing against the clock hours after a bridge came crumbling down in Baltimore. The search and rescue efforts continue at this hour.
And now you're taking a live look at what's left of that bridge. Officials say there were contractors on that bridge at the time of this collapse. And new information now shows there are cars under the water still. It happened when a cargo ship hit the bridge overnight.
And the state's governor just moments ago saying this was all an accident. Let's go to 7's Elitza BTO. She is live in the Newsplex with more. Elitza, good morning.
Tavares, Alex, good morning. The governor also saying it was a coordinated effort immediately between local, state and federal authorities. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsing overnight. We're learning the ship is called the Dolly. It is operated under a Singapore flag. It is chartered by the company Maersk. The container ship was leaving the port of Baltimore this morning before it lost power. Surveillance video showing the moments of the collapse. A massive ship hitting one of the supports and catches fire as the bridge breaks into several pieces and crumbles into the Baltimore harbor. The bridge spanning the Patapsco River that feeds into the port of Baltimore, a major hub for shipping on the East Coast.
We began to receive indications that a ship may have struck the Key Bridge. We got further information through multiple calls that the Key Bridge, portions of the Key Bridge had actually collapsed.
Authorities saying numerous vehicles fell into the water, including at least one tractor trailer. Baltimore fire officials describing the moments.
We were also given information at that time that there were likely multiple people on the bridge at the time of the collapse, and that as a result, multiple people were in the water.
Active search and rescue efforts for several people believed to be in the water underway. Emergency crews saving 2 people who fell into that freezing water when that bridge collapsed.
We were able to remove 2 people from the water. One individual refused service and refused transport. Essentially, that person was not injured. However, there was another individual that's been transported to a local trauma center that is in very serious condition.
We're hearing now for the first time from people who live in the area.
My wife, I was sitting there on the, I was half asleep and she woke me up. I couldn't believe, she's like screaming and I was like, what's going on? She just told me the Key Bridge is going. I'm like, yeah, right. And then I seen a picture of it and I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
I can't believe it. I mean, it's a major artery here in the area, not only for traffic, but for the port. So, I mean, hopefully everyone's okay that's involved in it today.
Again, Governor Wes Moore addressing the media really moments ago, saying it appears that this was an accident. All of this does remain under investigation. Another thing to point out here, the White House says the president has been briefed on the situation. Tavares.
All right, Elitza, and our team coverage turns to Karen Kafa. She's live in Baltimore. What's happening at this hour? Karen, good morning.
Good morning, Tavares. That briefing that Elisa was just talking about with Maryland Governor Wes Moore is taking place to the right of me, still ongoing with a number of officials, including U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen here on the scene. It just shows how coordinated this response has been, both at the federal, state, and local level. You have local Baltimore agencies. You have the Coast Guard out here. A massive operation that's been taking place for about 8 hours now as this search and rescue operation continues. Officials here in the Baltimore area say they were really able to enter a new phase once daylight hit because they were able to send divers into the water. But it's not just what they have in the water, the divers in the water, helicopters above ground, drones as well. Really just a huge operation trying to gauge just how many people could be submerged in the water, how many vehicles, and just what kind of operation they have ahead of them, Tavares.
And Karen, you touched on this, multiple agencies involved. I want to touch on that federal and state coordinated effort. I was reading CNN reporting that the NTSB is launching what they call a GO team. If you'll talk about that for us.
Yeah, that GO team is on the way from Washington, making its way to Baltimore. A lot of questions here, Tavares, to be answered. There will certainly be a great focus on that ship, on that vessel that did strike the pillar that ultimately brought the bridge down. From what we understand from the ship's management company, the crew on board, no injuries, and there will be certainly a lot of questions for them, exactly what was happening. There's kind of a timeline, a very tight timeline between about 1:24 in the morning, where video indicates that the ship's lights were flickering, to about 1:28 when that bridge, when the ship's when the ship hit the pillar of the bridge. It's appeared to veer off course during that time as it was being piloted by one of those harbor pilots that takes the ships through local waters as they go on their way. The ship was leaving the Baltimore harbor, destined for Sri Lanka, ultimately on its journey. So a lot of questions about the ship, about the operation, and certainly a big focus here, Tavares, on those victims.
All right, Karen Kay for reporting for us live this morning in Baltimore, Maryland. Certainly a story we'll continue to follow. Karen, thank you.